자, 목요일 날 아침 5시 반이 지금 곧 돼갑니다. 더 일찍 일어나서 신문 스크랩을 하고 커피를 진하게 먹었더니 싹 잠을 더 잤네요. 자, 아침 리딩을 시작하겠습니다. 나를 또 메모할 준비해야 되고, The Baptist Hymnal. I know whom I have believed. 2 Timothy chapter 1. I know whom I have believed, and he is able. Fear trumped in the White House. Don't take any question. All the staff told him with urgency. Trump said he did not plan on take any. Start with why. How great leaders inspire everyone to take the action. Now, what do you do? The founders, the story of PayPal and the entrepreneurs who shaped Silicon Valley. We've just got to figure out how to make this happen, G recalled. 101 American English idiom. Feel like $1 million. Feel wonderful. He added that Microsoft would push to make governance changes at OpenAI, though he did not say what those would be. Speaking. If you think speaking before others is hopelessly difficult or even scary, open this book and think again. Think all you speak, but speak not all you think. Your thoughts are your own. Your words are so no more. Protecting and performing. Think all you speak. How to be useful. A beginner's guide to not hating work. Here's a typical example. Here's a typical example of the confrontational email sent by an author when he discovered that the pre-publication book mailing had gone up without a hitch. Bone reading, bringing up bookworms in a digital age, from picture books to ebooks and everything in between. Bone reading bundle storytelling. Take your child's favorite book and retell it as a bedtime story. Let him or her help you rewrite the story as you tell it. There is, however, one problem with calling internet close handle on a handle with outstanding asynchronous request. Asynchronous. How to create a culture of excellence. How great companies think differently. When leaders come to see themselves as having societal purpose, they can choose to get involved at local, national, and even global levels. Is it wrong to bring a child into our warming world? That is, as you recognize, a privilege, a privilege in our world. But the right response is not to reduce the number of children who have that privilege, but to work together toward a situation in which every other child on the planet does too. Coding for kids. Learn real coding skills. The image is stamped to fill the entire workspace. Multiple streams of income. How to generate a lifetime of unlimited wealth. In a short time, he paid this author over $500,000 in licensing fees to the benefit of both the parties. Who's pulling your strings? How to break the cycle of manipulation and regain control of your life. Just make it clear that you will not participate in any conversation that include the off-limits that include what great CEOs do differently, the behaviors that set the best leaders apart. The problem with product proliferation, unmanaged innovation lead to excessive operational complexity. What's needed is product integration. The tension between freedom and constraint would also come to define his career, which began in 2007 in Antwerp, Belgium, when he went to work for rapper Simmons. She was no nonsense. She's an expert in the game of soccer. She just had all the qualities. She just had all the qualities. It all punctuated an end of era feeling at the Emmy Awards on Monday night. Punctuated. $1 billion portfolio. How to build and grow a panic-proof investment portfolio. Furthermore, while you receive an annual report and have voting rights with companies that trade on the major exchanges, the OTC and the pink sheet foreign companies have lower reporting standards for American shareholders. Practice perfect. Once our summer trainings end, we often feel a small shift in the dynamics between teachers and leaders. You can heal your life in the infinity of life where I am, always perfect, whole, and the complete. Banter, unobtrusive, inconspicuous, unassertive, reticent. Banter. The Goalkeeper, a little story about a powerful business idea. This is the single most successful branch office of the single most successful financial services company in the world, P whispered back. The Fusion Marketing Bible fused traditional media, digital media, social media to maximize your marketing. There are a lot of people figuring out every little detail about Facebook, and the lists are really amazing. Beyond the occasional spacing out, social media discussion of dissociative disorders aren't always illuminating. I had thought that the internet and the app-based world would bring us all closer together, and it's had exactly the opposite effect. toward positive youth development, transforming schools and community program. Chapter 15, the co-construction of educational reform, the intersection of federal, state, and local context. The technical rational perspective is the most extensively used approach for studying reform policy implementation. A minimalist master readies his next act. Mr. G's clothes offered an alternative point of view to 1980s power shoot. A warrior's rookie put his fearless spirit on display. The ceiling is high. He said recently in Salt Lake City, he's still learning. He's still learning. He's still learning. Effective executive compensation, creating a total rewards strategy for executives, midterm incentives, Chapter 11. The game changer, how you can drive revenue and profit growth with innovation. And it is the nature of group dynamics that sometimes people can get very excited and go 180 degrees in the wrong direction. Why men don't listen and women can read maps. Their conclusions were that the chance of sibling homosexuality is 22% for non-identical twins. A relationship for a lifetime. Everything you need to know to create a love that lasts. How to handle infidelity. An intimate connection that will stand the test of time must be based on trust. Otherwise, you have a relationship built upon dishonesty. with 10-man crews packed into B-17 bombers so big they were called flying fortresses. The 100th faced not only a constant barrage of enemy fire, but also thin air, sub-zero temperatures, and the psychological strain of what often played out as suicide missions. The umbrage, offense, resentment, displeasure, irritation, indignation, pique, umbrage. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. This is what Jeremiah's letter said. This is what the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of Israel, said to all the captives he has exiled to Babylon from Jerusalem. Build homes and plan to stay. Plutocrats, the rise of the new global superrich and the fall of everyone else. Marcus, who lives on today as a cartoon villain in video games based on Spartacus' slave revolt, which he helped crush, was famous in his own time as the wealthiest man in Rome. She added that the layers of his intimidating presence fell away quickly as he hung out with the other actors, told the story of an earlier theoretical rejection in a moment of downtime, and marveled about American history, inspired by his bike rides along the Pole Rivalry ride to Freedom Bike Trail in Boston, where the movie was filmed. Downtime. Expert, understanding the path to mastery. There's a lot to learn before we become a member of the team. Success in selling. All this should help the customer to draw the right conclusion from the demonstration, a conclusion that was intended to be drawn. Chapter 34, Demonstration, Key to Successful Selling. In a report published last month, UNESCO issued an urgent issued an urgent call for appropriate use of technology in education. The report urges countries to speed up internet connection at school, but at the same time warns that technology in education should be implemented in a way so that it never replace in-person teachers-led instruction and support the shared objective of quality education for all. Game day for the glory of God. It looks like praying for strength to continue practicing when our body wants to quit. Men's at the fashion turns the drama all the way up. Saying goodbye to grip and hotel rooms. After losing my husband, I just wanted to feel alive again. Then I wanted more. Sex lounges, slinky dresses, and high heels get old. I craved kale salad, sobriety, and a good night sleep. The Korean people like to pray as well. Live without the fear. Learn to work in God's power and the peace. Why is God's protection of His children important in uprooting fear? Uprooting fear. Car market shed light on the cause of inflation. Demand continued to be strong, and the consumer appeared to be still relatively intact. There are still matters that we've been able to be profitable on. Nothing like last year, Ms. W said. Behavior, like the Ms. W, may broaden. Still, the road to declining used car prices could be bumpy. Fire and fury inside the Trump White House is the ultimate wild card. There are few modern political variables more disruptive than a dedicated prosecutor. The breast of the fire pole was placed behind the closet door near upper floor bedrooms, landing in a hole at the center of the ground floor. Our daily bread was better than answers to our why question, trusting a good God who has his reasons. The man who ate everything. You hold the sardine parallel to the table and snap up the head behind the gills with your other hand, pulling horizontally to extract the intestines. Great day every day, navigating life's challenges with promise and purpose. When Christ claimed his 19-year-old heart, he set out to influence the world of entertainment. The wisdom and teachings of Kobe. When there is high trust, communication is easy, effortless, instantaneous. If you make a mistake, it hardly matters. People know you. Built to serve. How to drive the bottom line with the people first practice. While there may be no single reason for an organization's failure to grow properly, or the destruction of value brought about by a merger, the lack of faithfulness to the original vision and the mission consistently destroy sustained success. Reading comprehension. He did not expect a correct reply at once to all the voluminous question that he put to me on these occasions, but he meant to make me observant and a good student of nature. 50 high-impact speeches and remarks, proven words you can adapt for any business occasion. And on an average day, more than 1.1 million boxes of Jell-O are purchased or eaten. Violated the rule about loading up a praise with the statistics, but here it works because the visual is so memorable. Into the classroom. What are schools and the teachers to make up these cross currents? The presentation secret of Steve Jobs, how to be insanely great in front of any audience. The emerging picture of such studies is that 10,000 hours of practice 10,000 hours of practice is required to achieve the level of mastery associated with being a world-class expert in anything. Reading for vocabulary, building vocabulary and meaning. Level 1, pet. A small animal that lives with you. Do you have any pets? Do you have any pets? Manager's Handbook. The 17 skills leaders need to stand out. Offer more resources. Take on a few sub-tasks yourself so the work still comes in on time. Evangelist Marketing. 7. Everything begins with consumer insight. In fact, it's rather enlightening and interesting work. Too busy not to pray. The Spirit nudges us to accept God's offer of salvation, assure us that we are members of God's eternal family, encourage us to grow and guide us along the path God has chosen for us. It's really the retailers responding to market demand, Mr. J said. Zero limits. What I've described is probably typical of most psychiatric units elsewhere in the country. No ordinary disruption. The 4 global forces breaking all the trends. The changes in the labor market are among the most difficult to manage for both corporate leaders and individuals. It was the 2.0 problem. 2.0 problem, as always. Time management. The difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. Rendering Congress inert at a time when it needs to act inert. Change your words, change your life. Understanding the power of every word you speak. While everyone in a class liked her, Mary came to love Mrs. L. Food winked. It was an eye-opening experience. Digital transformation, survive and thrive in an era of massive extinction. The second use case to highlight is revenue protection. revenue protection. These are the people in revolt. These are the people in revolt, Mr. C said. Getting more, how to negotiate to achieve your goals in the real world. The 12 invisible strategies that change everything you thought you knew about negotiating. And it is important to find out the real cause of the temper tantrum. And it is important to find out the real cause of the temper tantrum. The drop. How the most addictive sport can help us understand addiction and the recovery. The number of cars and the trucks parked at a big wave spot on the best day of the year is about the same as at a Little League baseball game. Be concise, be concise and clear. Long sentences often confuse the audience. Be concise and clear. What your sixth grader needs to know. Fundamentals of a good sixth grade education. Subtraction and division are not associative. Shoplifting as shoplifting adds pressure to retailers still reeling from COVID-19 and the ongoing pressure of online alternatives, shoplifting. The first step to recovery is admitting that we have a problem. Are we more addicted to shopping than we think. The no-cry sleep solution for toddlers and preschoolers. Gentle ways to stop bedtime battles and improve your child's sleep. Simply show her how to press the play button to turn on her music if she wakes in the night. It's laced with all kind of hazardous uh, radio radio nuni, radio nuclides from the meltdown of reactor cores. I cannot help suspecting that President Yoon made a compromise on this to improve relations with Tokyo. You Can Win, a step-by-step tool for top achievers. Winners don't do different things, they do things differently. You Can Win, a step-by-step tool for top achievers. An easy to read, practical, common sense guide that will take you from ancient wisdom to modern day thinking. You Can Win help you establish new goals, develop a new sense of purpose, and generate new ideas about yourself and your future. Improve your marketing to grow your business. Insight and innovation that drive business and brand growth. The ability for an IBM sales manager in Germany to book the meeting or check for availability of a meeting space in Atlanta is something important that we can offer our global accounts. Our global accounts. Creativity, spirituality, and mental health, exploring connection. To me, he evinced extreme courage to face his crippling illness. Talk Like Ted, the 9 public speaking secrets of the world's top of the mind. Seth Godin went on to publish a book titled Purple Cow in the same year as his TED Talk. Winning job for the interviews. The reason for doing this is to expand the reference data beyond the genetic. He's great or his terrific comments that won't do you much good. Mine. How the hidden rules of ownership control our lives. Now, 1 in 8 IVF attempts use donor eggs. IVF. Soul survivors. At End State, Camp Humphreys will be one of the largest Army installations in the region. Husband's wandering eye has never been secret. It should be obvious to you by now that your husband is interested in being faithful. If you are looking for a reason to leave him, this is a strike. This is strike 3. If not, it's a strike 2.5. Please get yourself tested. Please get yourself tested for STD. Dear Abby, my husband and I have been married for 18 years. It's a second marriage for both of us. He cheated on his ex with me. Soon after we were married, he told me that given the chance, he would cheat on me, but that I shouldn't worry because no really pretty woman would ever wanted him, given the chance. Goals. Ask this question. Why haven't I already achieved my financial goals? In other words, what are your favorite excuses, rationalization, and justification for not earning the amount of money you want to earn, for being in debt, or for not being financially independent? Your answers to this question can tell you a lot about where you are and what you need to do to create your desired future. Favorite excuses. Almost 2/3 of the states acquire for monitoring wells show a decrease in water level since 1980, one of the worst rates in the country. Aquifer. Ten Secrets to Living Smarter, Savvy, and Strong. One day Jeff turned to Karen and said, Honey, I've noticed how much you have set aside for me. This is your time. Choose joy, no matter what life sends your way. Leading with emotional intelligence. Everyone agrees that emotional intelligence, EI, plays a key role in overall success. But when it comes to putting theory into practice, a EI consultant R has written the only book on the subject that shows you step by step how to increase competence, improve teamwork, enhance the communication, develop star performance, raise your IQ with AI. Cutting edge tool, cutting edge. The talent code. Greatness, greatness isn't born, it's grown. Here's how. At precisely 8 a.m. A and the rest of the teachers walk to the courtyard. The Retirement Challenge, a non-financial guide from top retirement expert. Don't worry if you aren't sure that what you are doing is right. Start by taking a step. Have a bias to action. If you try something and you don't like it, you can stop and try something else. Don't worry too much about analyzing or wondering if you are doing the right thing. Stand strong. There is not there is not a person in this world who hasn't felt different or alienated. Insight. Why we are not as self-aware as we think, and how seeing ourselves clearly help us succeed at work and in life. Who is the best and the worst boss you've ever had, and what did she or he do to earn that moniker? moniker. 히다. 물을 부었을 때 내용물이 물에 살짝 잠기는 모양. 차작. 히다. 나베노 자가이 모가 히다 가부르 쿠라이 미지오 이레루.